Stop playing Speedroid Wheel. That card is garbage. There are still people playing 3 Speedroid Wheel in their Speedroid decks. That is actually incorrect. You need to stop doing that. What you're about to see is part of my Speedroid Advanced Guide. If you haven't watched my Advanced Guide yet, I don't know what you're doing. Click the video in the top right now so you can get the full context. But again, not all of you will go and watch my Speedroid Advanced Guide, so I had to make a video telling you to stop playing this garbage card. Let's go. Why are we not playing Speedroid Wheel? Let's take a look at the card. I'm gonna explain this to you, because I actually have genuine reasoning why we're not playing this card. This card is actually garbage. And so I've thought about this for a little bit. Let's think about this from strictly a card advantage perspective. You have Speedroid Wheel, which is 1 card. So if you have 4 cards in your hand, 1 of them is Speedroid Wheel. Now, in order to activate Speedroid Wheel, its cost, which you can see before the semicolon, is to discard 1 card. So just to even activate the card itself, you now need to go -1 in card advantage, which means that we had 4 cards and we have now just spent 2 of them activating Speedroid Wheel, which should be fine because technically this will let you summon 2 Speedroid monsters from the deck. Presumably, we've deck built, we're running 2 of everything at least, which means that we will be able to special summon most of the time, probably 2 monsters. And yeah, like that could actually be fairly good. The only thing is that the effects are negated. If their effects weren't negated, I would say that Speedroid Wheel is like much better than what I think it is now. Because the thing is, so if you did roll something crazy, like you could roll a Fukumadoshi Piper, which is essentially just Pot of Prosperity, which is actually a banned card in Master Duel, and that would be insanely good. But they're negated. Also, if you could summon into a dice, that means you can start your combos and go crazy. Again, it would be insanely good. But yeah, here's the thing. We can't even gamble for the effects that we want to use from the deck. So they're just bodies on the board. Now let's say we have, in our best case scenario, we have 2 cards in our hand now and 2 guys on the board. Well, then now what are we gonna do? Okay, like I guess, yeah, we might have link fodder, so that at that point maybe we can start link climbing, but we burnt so many resources. Also, if your opponent has effect failure and they effect fail your rubber band shooter, that really sucks for you. So I guess the safest play would then be to activate your skill. So you activate your skill to then send the 2 monsters that you have just summoned off Speedroid Wheel to the graveyard to then summon a clearing from the extra deck. Well, now the thing is, we have no control over what we sent to the graveyard because they're just 2 random cards from our deck. We might have gotten lucky and gotten a Den Den Daiku Duke and a dice. Crazy. Actually insane if we roll a 4. But realistically, we could get a ton of other cards and like we just burn resources. We could just end up burning our resources. One of the biggest problems with Speedroids is that we run out of resources quickly. And with decks like Shadal in the meta, we don't want to actually lose our resources too early. My main point about Speedroid Wheel is that if the 2 cards in our hand were we could have just sent them for the skill and not burned random stuff in the deck. Instead of running Speedroid Wheel, we're running more tech cards, which will actually do more for the deck. And think about this. Let's say, and you've seen me do this, let's say you draw too many tech cards. Oh, I drew a Forbidden Lance and I drew a Chalice, or I drew a Chalice and a Book of Eclipse. This is a more advantageous position than if you had Speedroid Wheel, because now you can be like, oh, I want to activate my skill now, and I guess I can afford to sacrifice a Forbidden Chalice from the hand. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that makes more sense to me. Like, I'd rather have the option, okay, I have the tech cards. If I brick or I want to use my skill here, I can send one of the tech cards to the graveyard, which would have just been the Speedroid Wheel anyway. That's my thought. I would rather run more tech cards to counteract the meta that is hurting me than it is to run a gamble card that doesn't even have a good upside on gambling. Gambling in this game is not very good. I don't like gamble effects. And I think this is a clear-cut example of people thinking that it's really strong. And I just haven't seen a use case in which this is actually really that powerful as people think it is. I think it's important. It's an important discussion to have why we're not playing Speedroid Wheel, because a lot of people play it and I think it's wrong. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by clicking the first link in the description or shopping on TCG Player with my affiliate link. In 2025, I want to be more consistent with my uploads and get these videos out at least once a week. Lastly, I hope you're having a fantastic day and I will catch you in the next one.